Hey, Eric.
Hey, man.
Yesterday, when I saw you running at the park, it was the first time I ever experienced these feelings.
Yeah.
It was, wow, Eric looks like he can kick my ass.
Well, not physically.
No, like you look like you've been working out. Like you've got your shoulders were much broader. I was like, whenever I picture Eric, I picture like skinny white boy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
But now I'm like, wow, you might be able to fuck me up.
Yeah. I mean, I do go to Planet Fitness.
If you wind up and
unload a punch.
Yeah.
You want to go in the backyard and fight?
I want to see.
See what happens.
I want to see if you can knock me out.
All right. That's
All right,
good.
let's do it.
Great. Fine. Get the headgear. We'll spar. You get a stick.
Because I saw you and I was like, that guy looks like a buff Eric, but it was just buff Eric.
Just me wearing a tie-dye shirt.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. I'm glad I can inspire fear in you, Chris.
It's great.
Glad I'm physically imposing enough for you to fear your podcast co-host.
Yes, it's great.
As you run with my wife.
Yes. Yes, it's great. You want to hear some hot sounds?
Okay.
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast where we discuss classic Japanese role-playing games, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. Welcome back to Season 4, Part 2, where we're covering Suikoden 2. My name is Chris. I'm joined by Eric. Hello, Eric. Hi.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, we're also joined by the RealNet, a collective of buff patrons who are listening to us record live. You too can do this at patreon.com/retroam.
We're also joined by the fake net, who's not buff because she's small, who has also been chronicling the outside world in Season A Letter to the Future.
Initializing fake net.
Last night, I turned around and thought I watched the world ending. Inside the crushing down, I felt a pang. The tide was turning.
Can I guess what Season A Letter to the Future is?
Give it a shot. What do you think that is?
A Western indie visual novel.
Close.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure it's Western, but it is an indie game where you ride a bike around and take pictures and figure out what happened here and what's going to happen in the future.
Oh, cool. Sounds like a pretty interesting...
It's all right. You got a good 5 hours. It was on sale last week.
I haven't been playing a lot of video games lately because I finished that Marvel game and I'm waiting for that Star Wars game. That's how fucking pilled I am right now.
Yeah, but there's a conflict here where there's that Star Wars game, that Zelda game, and that Diablo game all at relatively the same time.
I'm not going...
fucking tough choices there, Chris.
I can skip Diablo pretty easily because I don't need that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't Diablo 3... I remember you saying Diablo 3 isn't a game, it's just something I do now.
Yeah,
that's a direct quote from
Exactly, and I don't want to do that anymore.
Okay, good. Maturity.
I don't.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have time for that.
Luke does not have the power and pull over Chris.
I would probably play Diablo 4 if I didn't have a podcast.
Okay, good. No, that's an important distinction.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not getting into Octopath 2. I don't need another 70-hour commitment right now, Chris. Well, let's visual novel our way over to headquarters where music a bustling town plays.
Mm-hmm.
Shu, Victor, Flick, Apple, and Freed Y are here.
Freed Y ceases to
he continues.
Resign.
He keeps coming. Shu is glad I made it back safe. Freed Y, though, thinks we're fucked because we couldn't retake Muse, which leaves us with a few options.
Mm-hmm.
Apple dots that. Victor, though, doesn't care. He thinks we'll have plenty of good ideas by tomorrow, which I love. Listen, it's all fucked right now. No one knows what's happening. Let's drink and go to sleep.
I think we should have had You Need to Go to Sleep, and we'll figure this shit out in the morning count for this game, because it's happened a lot.
Yeah. How do we progress time in this game?
Speaking of time, well, Flick says you already do. Which, whatever. Speaking of time, can we go back in time briefly before I recruited the octopus?
Okay.
So just for this moment,
play the rewind sound effect that we're using too much.
Yes. So picture I still have a listening crystal in my
I'm picturing it. My eyes are closed for this segment.
On my person.
Yep.
I go and I put Sierra in my party. She says, I am here, mortal.
What, to the octopus?
No, to me.
I can't see anything.
I don't have that. No, just to me. I put her in my party. We teleport to Cobalt Village, where We Are Number Wolf plays. And I take Sierra to the Unicorn Forest. I go to where the unicorn can be recruited, and Siegfried pops out.
The unicorn?
Yeah, and asks if it is a maiden who summoned him. Sierra pops out and looks to her...
Sierra, a maiden?
Well, we'll find out.
It's not even human.
Sierra pops out and looks to her left and looks to her right and says, a maiden? Me? Well, yes, I am a maiden. Siegfried says, well, then in the name of the gods of the forest, I betroth myself to you.
Fucking any port in the storm, right?
Sierra turns and asks Rio what to do. Rio tells her to say yes. Sierra...
That's coercion.
Sierra says, are you certain? I suppose I shall comply. You have my permission then. Siegfried says, very well. By my ancient oath as a member of the White Circle, through the vessel of a maiden, Then he stops and spits dots. Sierra
corrupting him. He's going to turn like to a dark horse.
That would be cool. Cooler. Sierra wonders what's going on. Siegfried says, I apologize. The mistake was mine. Fare thee well. Then he leaves.
So it's just a big misunderstanding. You can't recruit Siegfried. You blow a listening crystal on nothing if you bring Sierra.
Sierra says, what the hell did that mean? What a rude creature.
That's really awesome, actually, that there's a scenario like that in this game.
The unicorn comes out and is like, oh yeah, Sierra's fucked. So
was this game, do you think, can I open my eyes?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Was this game it's bright. Was this game created in a time where they knew people would collect information on the internet, look it up, and try shit? Or is this just people sneaking shit in here because they can?
Yes.
Okay, yes. All right.
Because there are a lot of things in this game that feel like they were just shoved in there. I mean, like, some things blew out of scope, like the cooking minigame. And there's a rope climbing minigame in this. But also there's a guy with clay behind a house in the middle of some trees that doesn't make any sense.
You're just doing shit because you want to.
Yes.
Like 4 episodes ago, someone said something about hammers, and I put a reference into a local lawyer baron commercial that only like people from the city will understand.
Yeah.
You just do shit for yourself sometimes.
I think he extends, Daryl Isaacs extends like up to the Cincinnati area as well.
Really? Okay, great.
I think
good.
So.
Regional activity.
I think. Could be wrong. Oh, by the way, also, I went back to the castle. Our castle is now level 5 now because we've got all our guys now.
Yeah, you want to talk about the castle a little bit?
A little bit. I don't know what you've got. I noticed Nanami's got her own room now.
Good.
And you can tell because she's got her like triple segmented staff on the wall hanging in there.
Yeah.
And there's some barbells on the ground and a straw training dummy in her room and stuff. But also, if you inspect the shelf next to Nanami's bed, it says, it was filled with all sorts of junk I brought from home.
Home junk.
Yeah. That's all I've got. Rio's got a bigger room now too, but we'll talk about that next time we go there, I guess.
5th floor, Chris. Top room. I got that LaPont shit going on.
Yeah.
So in order to get a specific spell from Leknot a bit later, it's necessary to now have all 108 stars of destiny going forward from this point in this video game.
Yes.
If you're playing at home and somehow not do this part yet. So I go up to the 4th floor where I find Kiba speaking to Shu in Shu's room. Shu is a cat. Did Shu always have a cat?
I think Shu got a cat when the castle became level 5.
So we now accept cats.
We already had some cats. There's a cat outside the library as well.
Okay. Heart Softening BGM 3 plays, and I must take a sip of water.
Yes. Heart Softener Teresa version is what I have.
Heart Softener Teresa version is another good band name.
Shu tells Kiba that he has a great favor to ask of him. And we're like stumbling upon this conversation, right?
Yeah, we're eavesdropping.
Yeah. Kiba spits dots and tells Shu that he's listening. Shu says, the next battle will most likely determine the outcome of the war. If we hope to win, we're going to have to take a gamble.
Do you know Kiba is smart enough to be aware of this?
Yes.
As soon as Shu said take a gamble, Shu's saying, hey man, you're gonna get fucked up.
Yes, exactly. Kiba says it'll be a hard battle. Shu continues, Highland and the Franz army continue to glare at each other across the divide of the Great Lake, which we haven't talked enough about how the Great Lake divides this thing except for that one mountain pass.
It's from one side of Michigan to the other side of Michigan.
Yes, like yes. Shu continues and says, although the Matilda Knightdom has surrendered, the area is still unstable and the Highland army can't pull their forces away. Kiba wonders what the hell Shu is going on about. Shu says that he wants Kiba to take a regiment to attack Victor's old dumbass fortress east of Meuse.
I love Kiba to be like, you said we can't take the gamble. We can't defeat Matilda. What do you want me to do?
Even if Highland realizes it's a decoy, they'll have to divide their army to defend the Highland Kingdom. They'll probably call upon Leon Silverberg to do it.
Shit, dude. Shu knows he's not a match for Leon, so he's removing Leon from the game board. Is that what's happening here?
I think that's what's happening. Yeah, you're right. Because Leon has no... Well, I mean, I don't think Shu has much of a conscience either, because he's used Palika as a shield that one time.
Yeah.
But Leon, I think, is a bit more dastardly.
Kiba got nothing but dots, and he has so many dots that he turns his back on Shu because he knows that he's being sent to die here. But then Kiba turns back around and speaks, Lord Shu, since my defeat, I feel like I've lost my place in this world. And I'm like, oh shit, he knows it's a suicide mission.
Yep.
But when I see Lord Rio, see him charm these people and transcend this war, it may be inappropriate for a general, but it makes me believe in miracles. Lord Shu, I don't need your men. The soldiers who have followed me from Highland will be enough. And I wanted Shu to be like, no, I just want you to go.
Yeah, just you. That's all I need.
This isn't like appropriate, but one can make the argument that we're forming a cult. Once again, which was my argument in the last game. When you get people to do shit like this for you, whenever you get someone ready to die for you, I think you're approaching cult-like behavior. I know that's also like a noble hero sacrifice thing,
yeah.
But also in the real world, which this game isn't in, but we are, that's what you do when you're about to start a cult.
Kiba's not sacrificing himself for anything, because Kiba is a Highlander.
Yeah, his successor's already here.
He's a Highlander. Like, he doesn't have anything to go back to.
There can only be one? Sorry.
No, fucking shit.
You said Highlander. You didn't fuck.
I know, but he's a Highlander. Like, he's not defending his old country. You know? There's no country for this old man.
Okay, so he's free to die.
Yes.
Whereas Klaus has already said, I want to go to Green Hill and live there. I want to live in the dorms, bro. Never went to school.
Well, I'm just saying that like it's difficult to sell a noble sacrifice to Kiba right now because he's not sacrificing to save his own country. He's sacrificing to crush his country, basically.
Isn't Kiba like 39?
Yeah, I think we did.
But he's like 56.
Yeah.
How do you feel most battlefield generals would feel taking an order from a 23-year-old rich guy?
Oh, they would
Not like that, right?
They would probably
kill him.
Yes, yeah.
Shu thanks General Kiba, then a surprised Kiba tells Shu that it's not like you to bow to the likes of me. Kiba says, please take care of my son. Under your tutelage, he will become a brilliant strategist. Suicide mission.
So I would say, please take care of my son and make sure he goes to college.
That's right.
I don't want him learning shit from you, dude.
Send him to Green Hill where he wants to live anyway. I know he's 26, but he can enter high school now. It's fine.
Yeah.
I get control, so I head in there and talk to Shu for myself.
Yeah.
Heart softening BGM 3 restarts.
Got to get another heart softener in here.
Shu tells me he's formed a new strategy. This fight will be the decisive battle between the fake nuts army and Highland.
Damn.
The forces behind this war are about to reach their limit. The winners will win everything, and the losers will lose everything.
I'm saying.
Fuck this translation.
I'm saying that's what happens. You know, the losers lose everything.
The winners win, the losers lose, bro. You fucking ultimate strategist.
God damn.
Shitty pep talk so far, but I'm like, it does provide some insight into Shu's operation. He won't talk to Rio the same way he talks to Kiba.
Yeah.
Both the state and Highland will be betting their existence on this battle. You have two choices. One is to stay the course. This is the easy road, but it is the path to defeat. The other is to fight for victory for all. This is the thorny path, but it is the path of kings.
I have this is the thorny path, but it's the path of Jesus.
Thorny, yeah. Put my crown on.
Yeah.
I await your decision, Lord Rio, and we get a choice. I'll fight or I can't not yet.
I'm going to fight.
I tell Shu I'm in. He tells me to assemble everyone of importance.
We shall.
In the meeting room, like that's my job. I'm like, nah, I'm king, man.
No, dude. The person who is the person that assembles everybody? I think it's Fitcher.
It's Fitcher.
Yeah.
It's absolutely Fitcher.
Okay.
Busy work.
Or Chaco, because he knows all the spots.
And he doesn't need to use stairs either.
Yeah.
Tactics plays, and we're in the meeting room. Everybody is here.
Yes.
39 people in total.
There are an assortment of fuckers that includes Gadget and Muku Muku.
It's so colorful.
I love seeing this many sprites on screen at once.
They don't move, but they did pack everybody.
On the stage, like the elevated area, is the entire management team plus Nanami.
The executive class.
Yes. I think Hauser has now joined that team as well. Shu says, listen carefully, everyone. Now that Highland has taken Matilda, their army numbers 55,000 men. Ours is a mere 25,000 or so.
So Highland had 4 companies with 25k in that battle we fought Kiba, right? So we've killed 20,000 dudes, probably more since they added Matilda. Like we're doing some math here.
Stop it. Stop. They've conscripted more or less. I don't know. Flick says that if we meet them head on, we'll be crushed. Shu explains that Kiba's troop will head east of Muse, outside the Highland Kingdom. Shu assumes that Highland will split their army to keep him from getting too close. This is when the rest of our army will attack Matilda. Victor does math and says it'll be closer to 30k versus 20k.
You got 30k and you've got 20k plus your 30k. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Shu continues. This is a gamble, and since we are risking everything, it's a big gamble. Interesting. But if we don't risk our lives, we can't win this war.
Use a different word, fucker.
This will be the fiercest battle yet, and anyone unwilling to die should leave now. I wish right now, like Chaka would leave or something.
You see a couple walkouts. You can't. We're contracted by destiny. You will not be pursued. No one will blame you.
The crowd then rabbles.
Yeah.
The crowd includes at least 2 children, Nina and Chaco.
Nina made the wildest movements of everybody in the crowd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she went kind of a little nuts here. I'm glad Nina is amongst the important people, by the way.
Yeah.
Is this everyone that we don't have a choice in recruiting? Is that who is here?
No, Gadget's optional. Muku Muku's optional.
Shit. I wonder if it's like a blank space or if they just plug in somebody else. Like if it's like 30 core recruits, then 9 random.
Yeah, alphabetically fills them in.
Yeah.
Victor says we're all ready to die if need be. Flick says we can't give up now. We'll all be laughed at.
Ready to die, world is a fuck, 108 stars of destiny.
Sai says that any craftsman will be ashamed to begin a job and not finish it. Gin says, then let's go. We will show them the might of kobolds.
I'm like, oh my god, are all 39 of them going to say their character trait?
Taiho is still in this game.
Yeah.
I thought Taiho was going to have more of an arc than he did. He was just there to be a boatman, basically.
He's been hanging out in the dock for 83 hours.
Yeah. We didn't come this far to not see things through to the end. Then Yamku says, you always say stuff like that. Teresa says, we will fight. For everyone. For ourselves.
I thought Teresa went back to Green Hill, but I guess she's still hanging out.
Yep. Fitcher says, and Eiley steps to Fitcher and says, what are you saying? We've come too far to run away. Isn't that right, Rio? Rena says, that's right. We've known Rio for a long time. We must lend him our strength now.
Supports your sister.
Bolgan bounces and screams.
Chaco's getting in on it.
He is. He says, there's no way wingers are going to lose to humans, Rio.
Hell yeah. So in mine, Ridley spoke now.
Yeah.
Lord Rio, we will protect you with the pride of the kobolds and the pride of the people of Two River City. And Chris, Chrono Cross could have used a moment like this had its polygon budget allowed it.
That's true. We talked about how cool it would have been if there was a hangout spot for Chrono Cross recruits.
Yeah.
Boris, in my case, says, Lord Rio, we will fight with pride on your behalf. If my father Ridley were here, I'm sure he'd say the same thing. He did not say the same thing. What you read was different than what Boris said. Boris is wrong.
Boris is wrong.
Boris is wrong.
He does not
predict the words of his father.
He does not know his father.
His father is dad.
Hauser says it's a soldier's duty to follow orders.
Thanks, man.
By the way, in Hauser's room, if you inspect the bookshelf, the book is called Soldier Regulations.
Good.
He just reads the fucking rules.
Studying reference books.
Yeah, I'm glad I remembered that because I forgot to write it down. Kiva says, Lord Rio, I have already given my life to you. You may use it as you please.
And then he laughs, hysterically, and I believe Kiba is drunk at this point.
He's got to be. Cloud says, Lord Rio. Apple says, Mr. Rio, for some goddamn reason. Nanami says, let's do it, Rio. It'll be okay. I promise we'll win. I know it.
Classic Nanami optimism.
Of course. Rio looks at Shu, then turns to the crowd. We have one dialogue option. It says, everyone, loan me your strength.
Loan? Come on, man. Lend.
Give me.
This generates a hopping round of applause. I mean, you can at least jam a sword in the ground and scream, I have the power or something, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, he should have punched you in the face.
Victor actually answers the question and says, of course. Then who beams in?
It's Leknot.
Oh, it doesn't even play her entrance music,
She didn't
though.
bring her music.
I know.
It kind of ruins the moment a little bit.
She speaks, Rio, you have assembled many heroes around you. The bright shield rune on your right hand and the black sword rune Joey hold are two aspects of the rune of the beginning. Power to decide this war, cold, uncompromising power. The 108 stars of destiny and the bear of the bright shield rune have now been assembled. Bearer.
Yes.
This is proof of his right. Again, dude, I hope she's giving the same speech to Joey and his own 108 stars of destiny.
Yes. I have a theory on
or
that later.
Wendy's coming back and she's doing it to Joey's side. The bright shield rune seal may not be broken, Rio. Your right hand. She speaks. May the thoughts of the 108 stars of destiny be as one and grant Rio new power. She then beams out of the sky and impresses a new rune hologram onto Rio. Honestly, dude, shit like this should inspire more people to believe than anything else. Like, if you see literal divine intervention happening at your war rally party.
All atheists have been turned.
Now you can use the full power of this rune, Rio. May you always stride with honor upon the path you tread. This grants access to level 4 spell.
Forgiver sign.
Beg for forgiveness, for I am Jesus.
Yes.
Not out.
The spell does both damage and healing as well, and we will listen to its sound effect later.
Shu no-sells all of that shit and tells everybody to get ready and regret nothing. Because I think Shu sees Leknot as a threat to his own power, so he chooses not to acknowledge the divine intervention.
Yes.
Next morning.
Birds. My new fancy room.
Nami's here to wake me up. She says Kiba's army is getting ready to leave and we need to go see him off. Bustling town plays and I party up with the Nami, then it fades to black as I leave my room. We get out front. Tactics plays. Klaus and Kiba are out here with the circus folk, our oldest friends who Rio will not grant proper lodging to, and a squad of troops.
Mm-hmm.
Kiba speaks first. I do love that this is where the circus folk live and there's just soldiers marching all over their shit.
Yes.
Kiba speaks first. Lord Rio, we've made it a long way. I promise we'll win this one too. Well, we must depart, my lord. Good fortune to you. Klaus also wishes his father good fortune, and Kiba tells Klaus to serve Lord Rio with honor. I've always been proud of you, my son. They're kind of laying on pretty thick here,
yeah.
Chris. Klaus offers one final counterattack. No, father. It is I who am proud to have you as my father. Kiba then walks over to his troops and leads them away from the castle. Fade to black. Bustling town plays and they're gone.
Yep. Klaus tells us we need to win this shit. It's time to go to the meeting room.
He says we must win this shit.
Must.
But only Klaus walks away and Nanami parties in. I get control. I go to Gregminster and get Tyr.
Good. I ran around the castle real quick, and I'm not sure if this is a patch thing or whatever, but Bedeau is here now. Like, he's hanging out. I think he was previously, you couldn't find him in the castle.
Remind me who Bedeau is.
The Beastmasterman.
More.
He was covered in rags.
More.
Had to bring Muku Muku to recruit him.
Okay, yes,
yeah,
good.
in the Matilda path.
That fucked up guy in the fucking pet, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
He's hanging out near the duck pond. I spoke with Maximilian, who's hanging out in the barracks area. He
The
says,
character battle's going to be rough this time.
he
man.
says,
That's
ha
all I'm saying.
ha. Oh, maybe I'll bring some big pictures or something.
Flashcards.
Max says, ha 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 ha. I can still whip men half my age. Did you happen to go to the dojo?
Not at this moment.
There is a sick animated training session going on where LC-chan and Wakaba are just fucking sparring, and their animations are like good enough that like you could take those animations and probably make like a decent beat 'em up game. Like
Just like put them in the Beats of Rage thing.
put them in
Put it in Mugen.
Yes, yes, it looks really good.
That's cool. I'm glad that LC-chan's not a grifter, that he actually does have some moves when he's not not paying for his room.
Anita is in the dojo now. I've never seen her in the dojo. She says if you keep drinking, you'll lose your skill. Which I guess is
Yeah.
true.
I mean, you need to take time from the drinking to do the work.
Also, I wandered into the restaurant. Our boy Gentetsu is there. Remember Gentetsu? Yeah. A great priest. Shoved me, so I'll join you. He says,
Shove a robot.
He says, all living things must eat. That is the greatest truth.
It is.
Which I think it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Entropy.
I'm ready to go to the war room, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
She says we're almost ready. We're going to go through Green Hill to get to Matilda. And I'm like, we're going through Green Hill again? Are you kidding me, dude?
Tactics plays.
So let's move out. Flick says, let's go to claim our victory. Chaco says, let's get him, yar.
Yar!
Yeah.
Major battle, liberating Matilda. No goddamn music plays, Chris. What actually plays?
War BGM 1.
Run the field,
Yep.
awaiting the enemy, which hasn't shown up yet, but then they beam in, and it's just as Shu thought. Leon Silverberg, not here. But Joey seems to know what's up.
Yeah. Apple says Matilda is just ahead. Klaus says that if these fuckers are going to show up, this will be the place. Oh, that was before that. Okay, so anyway, yeah, it's a shit-ass ton of Highland and Matilda units that show up. Not just Highland. They're like slightly different color, like the M Knight ones. Joey says that it was a decoy. He tells his troops to encircle them and to attack. He says, if we can rout the Franz army here, we've as good as won.
But C didn't get the memo. He says, aha, here they are. It looks like they're out in full force. Mobilize and crush them like the vermin they are. Uber's
still here. He hasn't chickened out yet.
He commands his forces to advance and encircle us. Gerudo, too, off to the north with their own flags. His advanced knights, fight for us now and you'll be rewarded handsomely.
Does that mean that the loyalty of his knights is shaky?
I think it's now dependent more on cash than it ever has been.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. You're no longer a knight, you're a mercenary.
We get in, I mean, because, his top shelf guys all threw their emblems out and quit, right? So he's got the leftovers.
Yeah.
We get into it, and at some point, Joey gives Colgan's army a signal. Colgan's crew then beams in as Colgan cries, all troops attack, divide, and slaughter. Chris, would you prefer to divide and slaughter or merge for the kill?
Merge for the kill!
Oh, you got to merge for the kill.
That's what I thought.
I mean, it really depends on if your science power is more closely aligned to the Constructicons or the Dinobots.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, the Dinobots do also merge for the kill in certain continuities.
Well, I'm talking about the G1 continuity
Gotcha.
here, Eric.
Thank you.
I used Mazes' fire ability and really owned all of Colgan's units. Like, really,
That's good.
really fucked them up.
Beat them up. They killed Teresa.
Guys. They did?
Yeah, but she just left. She didn't die.
After some time, Apple says that we're not going to survive at this rate, although I think maybe I could. Shu says that it's time to give our own signal.
Hell yeah.
A couple of reinforcement units appear behind the Highland army.
This scares the shit out of Highland.
Colgan can't believe this shit. Joey says that we've been outmaneuvered, but we can still save our troops if we order Colgan to pull back before he's surrounded. Then we'll have all our forces retreat.
That
says.
works. Highlands retreats, which is great because I was getting owned.
Oh, damn. You must not be good at tactics.
I am not.
Also, this game is
very upsetting.
It's completely random, most of the stuff. Not random, but
yeah, I mean, I can kind of, if I restart and do it again, I do the same moves and it's different results.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of underbaked. There's more time in the cooking minigame is what I'm saying.
Yes, that's for sure. After, we're probably in the Green Hill Forest, I think.
Birds chirp.
Yeah, it's Victor, Flick, Shu, and Boris. Is it Ridley for you?
Yeah, I've got Ridley in a troop of 30 regular guys.
Yes.
Victor
Regs.
wonders whose army that was that came for us at the end. Who was it? Who enters the frame?
Barbara.
Whoa.
She comes in with a heart softener.
One.
1.
She says, was that good, Mr. Shu? Shu says, excellent, like Mr. Burns.
Excellent.
Flick.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Mr. Burns' original voice, Starscream. Sorry.
Oh.
Excellent.
Flick can't believe that shit. Then Leona enters the frame and chastises Shu for working them too hard, making them come out all this way. Again, Shu just took the folks with no battle experience to show up and be scarecrows, essentially, and it worked.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is that a war crime? Can you take civilians and use them as I know they did it willingly, but does it have the war crime vibe?
Is Barbara a Star of Destiny?
Yeah, she's a Star of Destiny, but
No, I think that's out. I don't
she's
think
a non-combatant.
it doesn't matter. If you're a Star of Destiny, I don't think that's a work. I think you're a Star of it is your destiny to do this shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I'm dying on that hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to die. You win. I die. Leona comes in too. She says, "You're working us too hard, Shu, to make us come all this way." Shu says, "I apologize, but you did perform admirably. Your task is done, so please return to the castle."
Clinical, cold-hearted Shu.
Hilda and Alex are here too.
I'm like, oh, fuck, you brought them?
Yeah, Hilda says she was a little scared, but it was quite fun too. Alex says there's nothing to be scared of with me around, except for the double-headed snakes in my backyard. Victor sweats.
Everyone turns to look at me. Shu says we should get back to Green Hill and rest up for the next round. I'm like, what next round, dude? You just said this was the make or break battle. This one. Fade to black. Green Hill, dorm, music, silent room plays. Shu tells me they are all waiting for me. Where tactics plays, as Suikoden 2 tries to railroad me to the finish line, and Shu wants to take Rockaxe Castle. Ridley, Hauser, and Teresa will assemble their armies and deploy immediately. When the enemy appears, I want you to do your best to lure them away from Rockaxe. Hauser yes sirs that shit, while Ridley hums it. I assume Boris also hummed it.
Boris hummed.
Shu finishes describing his plan. When the enemy takes the bait, Lord Rio will covertly lead a small army into Rockaxe Castle.
Victor doesn't know what covertly means.
Yeah, he's like, what? Apple explains that during the last battle, some former Matilda knights entered the castle posing as Gerudo's men.
Good idea.
On our signal, they will open the gates to let you in. Nanami's excited and asks what's next. Shu answers, Lord Rio will enter the castle and ascend to the top floor and burn down the enemy flag and replace it with ours.
Just like Mario.
Kind of, yeah. Fireworks go off sometimes. Flick asked the same question that I just asked, which is, what's the point of burning down a flag? Klaus takes this one. The Highland army has overextended themselves. They have taken the knightdom by force, but their control over them is weak. They'll think the castle has fallen, and the knights will give up. The tide of battle will turn in our direction. FakeNet, what is the historical precedent for flag switching?
Initializing FakeNet.
Colors have historically served as a means of identifying units of the battlefield. During the Civil War, men were trained to follow their colors in battle, to rally around them, and generally to use them to maintain unit cohesiveness. Unit colors were a great source of pride, and victories or defeats were often expressed in terms of colors being captured from or lost to the enemy. During the Civil War, many awards of the Medal of Honor were made for the capture or defense of colors. Even then, however, units which lost their colors remained intact and continued to fight.
Yeah.
Victor asks what will happen if this insane, reckless, and stupid plan doesn't work. Shu answers, then Ridley, Hauser, and Teresa will have nowhere to run, and our armies will be slaughtered.
At this point in the game, I was impressed the game remembered to control for Boris at all times. But in my case, Shu said, then Ridley, Hauser, and Teresa will have nowhere to run.
Son of a
so
bitch.
They finally fucked it up.
Ridley back from the dead.
Yeah, zombie Ridley.
The rest of the FakeNet's army will fall shortly thereafter. Lord Rio, everything is riding on you. Select the party members to join in your invasion of Rockaxe Castle. Nanami has to go.
Shu tells me to pick my best motherfuckers. I picked the best squad of motherfuckers I can. I got some true monstars. Ready?
Yeah.
Peshmerga.
Siegfried.
Really?
You said best one.
Georg, Mazes, and Vincent of Balls.
Oh, dude, you took Vincent of Balls.
Yeah,
That's great.
He's not great, but he's decent.
I would hope it's like a late game acquisition that he's fairly well stocked.
Yeah, he's a short range character in this game, which makes him more like, fancy man like Pierre, like you said before.
I took Luke, Hilly, Flick, and Victor. I say roll out, and then it cuts to Rockaxe, where March of the King plays.
The King's March.
Castle gate open. Seed, Colgan, and some dudes exit. Seed says, persistent bastards. Colgan adds, if we can get them to overextend themselves now, we can take them easily next time. Seed buys in, says, Matilda Knights, hurry up. After they all march out, our dudes emerge from the sides of the trees. Cool, the surprise. This framing actually worked on me, Eric. The game surprised me with how quickly we could sneak in.
Yeah, What's the best way to overextend yourself, by the way?
Not sleep. Get less than 3 hours of sleep for 5 days in a row. Extend your mileage by over 200%.
I got go back to school, host a podcast, and have kids who play sports.
Oh, yeah. Good job. No, that did it.
Also have a job, which I'm doing while typing these notes.
Also do a lot of my notes typing at job. Huh. See, it's not about overextending yourself. It's about combining activities.
Yeah, it's true.
Fucking shit. Do a podcast while running laps. Shu's like, shit, all right, get the signal, then somebody whistles.
Yeah.
The castle gate then rises, and 2 white knights who are also our dudes spill out.
I wish one of the white knights would have taken his uniform off and it would have been Chaco. Like, that should have been the thing.
Like wings burst out the side.
Yeah.
A very satisfied Shu states, okay, you guys, head in there and do your best to avoid detection. I'm like, oh god, stealth mission. Fuck me. All our dudes rush in. Then Shu tells us, Lord Rio, there isn't much time left. If the enemy returns before the flag is destroyed, the Fake Nuts army's fate is sealed. We'll follow when it's safe, but please find the flag as quickly as possible. All right, Chris, let's go capture the flag. Nanami expresses confidence, takes the lead, and tells our asses to move it. Our dudes head in, but then another dude approaches Shu with a message from General Kiba.
Yep.
Shu tells the dude to read it to him because Shu is illiterate.
Probably. After arriving at the fort, General Kiba engaged in combat with Leon Silverberg.
According to plan.
Then...
Requiem of Grief plays.
Yes. I have Theme of Dead Man. Oh, why I do that? The scene changes to a black and white scene at the fort, Victor's fort, as we see Kiba telling his homies to stand their ground. Every minute we hold out brings us closer to a victory for Lord Rio, a victory for the Franz army.
A victory for the child who commands me.
Yes, it's true. Cut back, continue letter. During the battle, both Silverberg and General Kiba were mortally wounded.
Double fatality.
Double fatality.
Double fatality.
Fatality.
So Silverberg off the board, Kiba off the board.
Klaus says, Father, I think it's a good trade. Advantage Franz army.
Yeah, but now we don't have 108 stars of Destiny.
Doesn't matter.
Destiny now fucked?
We already have.
Like there's no Boris for...
We already got our final spell, so we're good.
So Destiny destroyed.
Yes.
Destiny is now no fate but what we
Remember
make.
Matthew died at the end of the first game.
Yeah.
It was after the first battle, but still, he was mortally wounded before then.
Shu hits that with a cold, disaffected I see. Klaus says, Father. Fade to black. Rockaxe. Music, the silly as hell in transition, prideful Sarabon plays.
Yeah. The Blue Knight tells me that they'll lure the enemy away from the front line.
Yeah.
That'll be our chance to go.
Pemth 2 plays, we enter one of those secret tunnels that is in broad daylight.
Yeah, it's like an armory type area, like we're inside of a castle dungeon.
I've got a shitload of hallways and towers, boring.
Shitloads of hallway and towers, boring. Yeah, there are some like stuff on tables and stuff.
There's like storerooms, there's like a mess hall we get to at some point, there's a sleep dorm. There's also some unique enemies. The encounter rate here sucks.
It's better than a forest. The encounter rate here does suck. I was wondering if maybe I fucked something up.
No, it's like every 3 steps I'm in a battle. What'd you fight?
Fought a hippogriff.
It's a beige stone-colored griffin.
Yep. Highland soldiers. Which
Blue
are
soldiers.
Cockatrice.
Turkeys with purple wings, green tails, and colorful heads. They do shitty lightning attacks.
M. Knight.
Silver guy standing there with swords.
Shyamalan.
Got a Night Rune off him. M. Night Shyamalan specifically, I got a Night Rune off of, not the M. Night.
Yeah. Ladders and towers. I found a Stone of Speed. Crimson Cape, Stone of Defense. We eventually make our way to a really nice-looking castle wall with an outstanding background.
Yeah, it's got some parallax going on as we walk by.
Outstanding.
The cinematic RPG, one might say. Around here you can find some power gloves. It's bad.
I love the power glove. It's so bad.
Hey, is it pointless to ask why there's cockatrices running around in here?
Uber summoned them.
Griffin. Oh, okay. Fill my dorms with monsters.
Yeah.
Great.
Sure, I guess. LaPont had clockwork soldiers in his house, so, you know.
Yeah, that was one guy. This is a barracks.
It's true. We loop outside and there's a new area of the castle. Lots of torches, so there must be a boss nearby. Spears are lined up against the wall. We're in this, like, barracks armory area.
Yeah, there's some beds. We're just killing people next to their beds.
Yeah. We can find some flame helmets and some golden necklaces. Necklaces? A gold necklace. There's a couple of scripted battles with M Knights. And then we can find the unicorn plans and the dragon plans, both number 4s. Then, Eric, we reach the save point. The most important save point in the game. You ready for the save point?
Yeah, save it.
We loop around the castle, this time via the ramparts. Once we get to the stairs outside, Peshmerga parties out and says, a little further. Did you have anybody that partied out?
Flick.
Did he say the same thing?
Like a white knight screams, don't let them get away. It's time for story to happen. As Victor tells Rio and Nanami to go capture the flag while the rest of everyone takes care of the knights.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I got... Okay, yeah.
Basically, it's a way to isolate Rio and Nanami away from the rest of your party.
Do you know who said that for me?
No.
Vincent of Balls.
Nice. Vincent was the heroic one.
He said, Rio and Nanami, go on ahead. I will handle things here. Don't give me that look. I swear I'll return home alive.
Vincent said that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Nanami tells everyone to be careful. Georg hollers, you be careful too, which seems out of character, so it might be canned.
Yeah, you say weird shit when you're in the heat of battle, right?
True. Fade out. It's me and Nanami. We're upstairs.
We reach a room full of suits of armor.
It's called a 2D room.
Yeah.
2D side-scroller room. Yeah, you know what I mean?
There's some of that in this game. There's some in the, yes.
A long, long hallway.
Nanami calls out how quiet it is, and she wants to hurry. It's too quiet. I go under the door, and the music stops, and it cuts to an absolute set piece of an environment.
Yes.
Massive auditorium, parallax scrolls, like Chris said.
Yeah,
some shit is about to go down in this hallway.
There is a castle rotunda type situation going on in the background where we're seeing down into the castle.
The wealth of Matilda is on display.
Yeah, it's very clear that this scene is being framed as very important, capital V, capital I. Like, this is an important thing coming up. We come to Joey at the other end of the path. He wonders what we're up to here.
But the dialogue box pops up before we see who it is.
Oh, okay.
And it says, "What are you looking for, Rio?" The camera skulls to the right, revealing Joey at the end of the hallway as music Reminisce ensemble version plays. Nanami screams Joey's name. The two sides walk close to each other and meet in the center of the screen. And Joey once again lays down a hard truth. "Rio, Nanami, I don't know what you're doing here, but I won't let you pass."
Also notice that Nanami is standing in like an isometric pose. She's like turned 3/4 of the way.
Yeah, with like a different
different
pixel arrangement.
Yeah. Joey draws his sword with sound. Swing!
Sound effect not found. Generating replacement.
Swing!
Swing!
Nanami begins to plead.
She pumps her fist in frustration.
She wants Joey to stop doing this.
Chris, hot take time. Can you see this, the curse of the runes, as a metaphor for, among other things, two people suffering from addiction? Like everyone who cares about them from their old life, which appears to be only Nanami, is trying to stop them from self-destructing, while the enablers, all of their new friends, do nothing but encourage it.
Yes, actually, that's an interesting read. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't written like that, but it feels like that. It feels like it can...
Like everyone's just encouraging Rio to use and use and use over again. Nanami's like, you don't have to, you can just quit whenever you want, but he can't quit because this has power over him. And you could say it's a destiny thing or an addiction thing, but to me, like, that metaphor struck me as particularly powerful there because it is blowing up both of these boys.
I mean, addiction
against their will.
Addiction and destiny are they kind of play hand in hand because you get sucked down a dark path.
That would actually be like
which seems that you cannot get a path that seems like you can't get off of.
That's a good philosophical exercise, is debate the difference between addiction and destiny.
Yeah, it really seems like there maybe isn't. Please tell me the answer.
Yes, that is the answer. We get a choice. It seems we must fight, or I don't want to fight you.
I picked number 2. I'm not a Destiny guy.
As the addict, I tell Joey we must fight.
Oh.
What happened to you?
Nanami asks why Joey has to fight. Joey lowers his head. He says, because it's fate. That's got to be the answer. Please tell me the answer. Is fate unchangeable? He didn't say that part. Rio, there are many people who are counting on you. To the Franz army, you represent hope itself. But I have people who need me. People who believe in me.
The second part of that's the same for me, but when I said I want to fight, she said, Rio, what are you saying? Stop it. You don't mean that. Why must you fight? And Joey said that.
And I think it's interesting that Joey says that he also has people that are counting on him. It's like his 108 stars of destiny are also counting on him, which would
should have been a Suikoden is Joey's stars of destiny.
Yeah, like Colgan Seed and, 100 other dudes.
Solanji.
Solanji gets killed. Anyway, Nanami starts shaking her head and sweating. She says, no way. That's not true. I don't believe in destiny. And Genkaku didn't either. Which I think is an interesting thing to bring up, too. It's like Genkaku is the one thing that ties all three of us together,
Her
right?
father, you mean her dad?
Yes, sort of. It's all just a load of crap. If that's the reason the Franz army must fight Highland, if that's the reason why Rio and Joey have to fight...
Joey cuts her off. This land, our home, it's not big enough for both Highland and the city-state. I'm like, actually, there's quite a bit of land that's not even occupied here.
It's not in the game, but this territory, Dunan Lake territory, used to be one country, like years ago. So, like, it is kind of perceived to be that way. And, like, the League of City-States has always been like a loose confederation. Like, there's always been conflict between everyone in this area, and this war comes to be known as the Dunan Unification War. So there is like some table setting there.
That fact is what led to all this fighting, all this sadness. I began to realize that the day of the state meeting in Joustin, I saw the state, established so its members could coexist in peace, was itself a maelstrom of discord, jealousy, and antagonism. Chris, he ain't wrong. Am I being radicalized?
No, he makes very good points.
And then he says,
Dr. Peterson,
I will establish one mighty nation in this land, one with nothing to do with Highland or the state. A single powerful nation, born of force and wielding force. That's the one and only way of freeing this land
from this war.
From this war. Chris, sound the fascism alarm siren.
Yeah.
We get a choice.
Born of force and wielding force was like that. Like that whole speech was really nice, and then we got to born of force and wielding force.
And I was like, oh, no, get off.
Stop.
And you get a choice. That's why I fight or dot. Dude, we can really say I am a fascist too.
I say that's why I fight too.
I don't think that's what Suikoden 2 is going for, but I do think that's a neat angle for the game. Both sides are riding the rails to a totalitarian state.
Hey man, I mean, this is what happens in these wars.
I lean
that's
into
why
it.
Tyr McDowell left.
Yeah, it's like, fuck this, I can't do it. But I lean into it. Nanami raises her head. Joey speaks. The time for talk is over. Now we must settle this. Nanami made a gesture here. Did you get what she did? She does something, then steps back in shock as Joey starts to step toward us. Ryo does not move.
I just have back pedals, yeah.
Back pedals.
Yeah.
Ryo does not move, and I am prepared for the ultimate showdown. But then the camera pans left. What music plays?
It's Gerudo's music.
And Gerudo approaches with a pair of decently kitted knights.
The crossbowmen have crossbows.
He speaks. Ha ha ha, what good fortune to walk in and find the two of you fighting. Now I can kill you both and take this land for Matilda. Chris, I can feel it happening. I love when the protagonist and the antagonist team up for a battle against a mutual villain.
Yes, it's great.
Gerudo continues. I can take everything. Okay, man, aim carefully. Fire. And like, fire what, dude? Doesn't it have like a gun or a gun blade? But you said they have crossbows.
Yeah.
I didn't figure out what they had.
Yeah. This is the moment of truth right here in which you have to perform this next action in order to get the good ending.
Nanami can't believe this shit, but Joey and Ryo say nothing like they expected this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nanami gets in a stance, like her fighting stance, that the sprite is not the same as it is in battle, but she's in that very same stance that you see in the battle sequence.
And she stands in front of Ryo.
Yes, and you will get a dialogue option, but it will time out if you don't say anything.
It's as fast as the thing in the Merc Fort with Luca.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
when you're supposed to jump out in front of Palika.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. So you have to either holler look out or Nanami. It doesn't matter what you say.
As long as you make it the choice.
Yes. And once you make that choice, Ryo steps forward and readies his weapon. So that lets you know that you made the choice and the game is going to proceed down the good path.
Nanami mentions Grandpa Genkaku's secret technique, and then a spear flies in which she deflects. Then she deflects two more. But what happens with the fourth spear?
Spear? Arrow? Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know they had crossbows at this point.
She's hit.
Right in the gut.
She falls to the ground. She's trembling, and so is Ryo. Like their sprites are kind of vibrating.
Yeah,
they're vibrating for different reasons. Yeah.
And I thought I fucked up because I knew this was like a pivotal thing because I'm, going along. I was like, did I not hit the button correctly? Because this looks bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Like not already resurrected Gremio.
Yeah.
Like she can't do it again. But this is that moment, sort of. Nanami then gets a death portrait.
Yeah.
She says, I missed, but I'm okay. Gerudo and his fellows come up to us. He tells the boys they missed, but he'll take care of us himself. Joey, also trembling.
Unique boss music plays.
Big battle with big battle music.
What do you got?
Fist of Anger.
Iron Fist of Anger.
Ooh, the Tekken.
Good morning.
Gerudo and 5M Knights. All we have is Ryo and Joey.
Yes. Joey. Now, this is why I think that Joey also had the same visit from Not because he summoned his 108 Stars of Destiny.
Yeah.
Is because Joey also has his level 4 spell.
Yes.
And
see, good. That's a good read.
Yeah.
She's playing both sides, Chris. Both sides case.
Both sides case plays. No, don't. The big battle.
Let the Iron Fist play.
Yeah, Fist of Anger is good. Joey's level 4 spell is supposed to be called Hungry Fiend.
It's called Hungry Friend.
It's called Hungry Friend.
They fucked it up. Hungry Fiend, though, does a CG cutscene where dozens of swords with red auras emerge out of the black light portal and wreak 1,200 damage worth of shit to the entire enemy field.
Yes, let's hear it now. Also, I have a Mother Earth rune on Ryo, as I mentioned before, and I used the Canopy defense, and Gerudo's first move was to use Earthquake on us, and it just fucking blocked it. So Joey was able to do his Hungry Friend attack.
Joey also, his Black Sword runes are Flash, Judgment, Twinkling Blade, and Piercing One.
Yes, we heard them 6 months ago on this podcast.
I do think it's cool rather than get... In Final Fantasy VIII, Cypher was on your team at the beginning, but now we have Joey on our team late game. I think it's excellent when there's like another briefly playable character like this.
I think it's cool too. On my second turn, I cast Forgiver Sign. It actually does damage and heal, although the description says it heals for 2,000, but it actually does a lot of damage too.
This battle does a great job of framing Joey and Ryo's runes as complementary pieces. Together, Chris, they could have conquered the world.
Yeah, because you can win this battle in 2 turns if you use their spells.
And do you think that was the original intent as they team up, or do you think they're destined to oppose each other? Because if they teamed up, this is some world-conquering shit.
Wow, that's interesting. I don't think they were ever intended to team up. I think just because of what we talked about, the origins of the story in the last podcast, with the way Murayama kind of split those personalities out, and the way the original Chinese story played out, I think, is the direction he was going. But that would also be a
much different game.
A bad ending sort of situation where Ryo and Joey can unify everybody, but also do what it would do.
This game needs Chrono Trigger / cross endings where you can replay it and break off Destiny at certain points to go end it.
It does have a
on your
lot
own
of
terms.
good break moments, but you're only allowed to pursue that one.
My other note is Gerudo does the Mitsurugi shit that Chris knows the real name of, where he always keeps his sword in his scabbard.
Oh, the Bato Jutsu?
There you go.
That's what's
Ding.
called in Kenshin. I don't know what's called that in other things. Gerudo never got a chance to do that with me.
After the battle,
Gerudo takes a knee.
yeah,
When
Nanami is still down.
Yeah. Gerudo is, he's trembling as well. And he falls over, eats shit, and evaporates.
Oh, he takes a knee. I've got he's lined up like a defensive tackle.
Oh, maybe he's 3-point stance?
Yeah, 3-point stance, shoulders shake, croaks out death rattle, evaporates.
Why do you think he evaporated?
That's a great question.
I think
To
I know.
signify that he's dead and Nanami's not dead.
I think I know the
People
answer.
force evaporate. Here.
Because this entire scene would be more fucked up looking if Gerudo was laying there eating shit.
That's good. Bleeding out.
Yeah.
His knight's evaporated too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Joey returns his sword to his scabbard, which then disappears. Then both boys walk over to Nanami and kneel by her side. She's shaking. Requiem of Grief plays, and Joey is the first to ask Nanami if she's okay. She responds,
I'm so happy to finally see the gentle face of the old Joey again. I'm okay. I'll be okay. So don't fight.
do you think she is dying at peace, realizing her boys have unified and linked up and put aside their differences?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that, but also she's in like big sister mode where she's trying to be protective of her younger brother and being like, don't worry, I'm good. It's fine.
I got this. It's
Yeah.
fine. Joey gives a long, slow dialogue box full of dots, then stands up and faces the opposite direction. Says, Nanami, I'm sorry, Ryo, take care of Nanami. He blinks a lot when he does this.
Yeah.
You read anything into that?
Mega
That's a
Man
deliberate
blinks?
decision.
Yeah, I think it's just a way of signifying his maybe trepidation.
Yeah, I don't know if like Destiny is tapping its hand on his shoulder, like, no, get back to it. You still got to win this war, buddy.
Yeah, that could be it too. And he's being pulled in two different directions here. So he's too far down the path to stop here.
Ryo pulls his sister up by her lower back, and with her still partially lying on the floor, takes her right hand with his right hand. Nanami repeats Ryo's name and in a short breath says she'll be okay. But please just once, call me Big Sister. We get a choice, and I hope it has lethal implications. You can say Big Sister or dots. Your sister, who as far as you know is dying, could actually be dying, because you don't know because the game can't kill her at this point. You can say Big Sister or dots. Give her what she wants or be hard as fuck. What'd you do?
Big sister.
I gave her the dots.
What happened?
She said, haha, that almost sounds like last words.
Yes. Okay. Sure. I guess.
What'd you do when you said Big Sister?
She thanks Ryo and says she feels better. She opens her eyes and says, hey, Ryo, you and me and Genkaku were not related, but we really were a family, weren't we? I'm glad I got to be Genkaku's child, and I'm glad I got to be your big sister, and I'm glad I was Joey's friend, and I'm glad we were all together.
And now I'm like, did I fuck up? She's speaking in past tense. The game does really good ambiguity. Does all this happen if you still fuck up the thing earlier? Or does she take more?
If you don't have 108 Stars of Destiny, then this plays out exactly the same, except for one thing that we'll get to later.
Not just the Stars of Destiny, but also if you don't hit dialogue in time.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And I don't know if this is true either, but the guide tells you to put on like a bunch of high defense gear on her, and I don't know if her defensive stat.
I remember Googling around to see if that matters, and it was inconclusive.
Yeah. So I guess it was just a way of ensuring that this would happen. But
It is weird if it draws from statistics to guarantee that as well.
yeah. And I think the next thing is that the next bit that happens is some of the best sprite work in the game, because Nanami falls unconscious, and for like a solid 2 seconds, Ryo has this absolutely terrifying look on his face.
Huge eyes.
Yeah, his eyes get really wide, and I'm not sure if I was just perceiving this or if it really happened, but it looked like the tint of his skin on his face changes color.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
got
drained.
Yeah,
He did crane his head over her body.
Yeah. Then he closes his eyes and lowers his head. The music stops. She runs in and asks what happened. He hollers at one of the soldiers to take care of the flag shit. 3 soldiers run off. Then he tells the other 3 to go get a doctor.
Do you think she was upset that Ryo was caring for her sister and not burning the flag down?
He told the soldiers to go get the flag before he told the other soldiers to go get the doctor. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's deliberate or not, but it would speak to Shu's situation. CG cutscene.
Music, Our Banner Flies plays. The blue and white Matilda flag burns against a brick wall. The sun then shines in a bright blue sky as 3 feather flags, the flag of my army, raises as the crowd cheers.
Then it pops over to a war BGM
We're on a
situation.
battlefield, and I'm like, no, I have to go save. I can't fight a battle right now.
Yeah, well, lucky for you, you don't have to. Pops over to this is the same battlefield as before. And
Yeah.
The Matilda Knights are, this is just a way of showing the story. The Matilda Knights are noticing this flag
He's
situation.
like, holy fuck, look at that.
Hauser's like, yo, Rockaxe has fallen. Boris says, Knights of Matilda, shake the yoke of Highland oppression and reclaim your knight's armor.
Exact same thing for Ridley, and that's some epic dialogue.
Yes. I'm glad that Boris was able to channel that from his dead father. Or Colgan thinks all this shit fucking sucks. Joey beams in and tells him to pull out. Seed can't believe this shit. Do you think Joey would have handled that differently if Nanami didn't just get murked?
I think he has steeled himself to emotion. Like, I think that affected him in the moment, but as soon as he got out of there, he's back in king mode.
Back in Joey mode?
Yeah.
Leon Silverberg mode? Okay.
Speaking of which, we didn't really address it. Do you buy Leon and Kiba being dead? Because it is a report.
You can go check the tablet.
And Kiba's crossed out.
And
but
Kiba's crossed out.
Leon as well. Do you believe Leon, in this game, the first time you played it, do you believe Leon was dead? Because I did.
No.
Because why would they, it just seemed like
Yeah.
misdirection for no reason.
Yeah. Music's off. We're back at the scene. The Nanami injury scene.
Yeah.
Dr. Juan is here.
Dr. Juan, the only doctor we have for 50,000 troops.
Yep. He tells us that Nanami is still breathing and we need to get her to the castle quickly. But there's too many soldiers outside. Just then, a dude runs in and notifies us that the Highland army is retreating. This might have been a cool moment, though, to have you have to fight your way out of here.
Yeah. It's been a long time since the save point, and there's not going to be a boss fight either, so it's weird falling action.
True. Shu tells the soldier to prepare a message. Send the armies of Two River and Tinto back home. We can't leave those areas empty any longer.
Always the strategist.
Always. Fade out. Grief, Requiem, sad place.
There's a gathering outside Juan's office.
Yes.
Flick and Victor are right in front of the door. Behind them are...
The Goof Troop.
Yeah.
Apple,
Olga, Rena, Eiley.
Yeah. Apple, Shu, and Sai. They're all standing outside Dr. Juan's office.
Calling them the Goof Troop happened way too late in this game.
Yeah.
So good.
We can't quite see what's going on in Juan's office.
Yeah, it's cleverly obscured, but Flick says, God damn it, please save her.
He's out here damning God. Victor's got nothing.
Could you do a God damn it in video games? I thought that was like... Not to like the aughts type thing where you could actually literally, you can't say God damn it on TV, but you can say damn it and you can say God.
Yeah. A good question. I'm not sure.
It's strange.
Interesting. Fucking FCC. Victor's got nothing. Eiley tells Rio that it'll be okay. She's not going to die. But then Rena hollers at her. She's like, Ellie, don't fucking do that.
Fuck up. Don't say the D word.
Yeah. I gain control. I go speak with Taki, who's standing up in her normal spot. I was hoping she was going to talk about beer and melted cheese and stuff like that, but she says, Sonny, stay by her side. That's all you can do.
You talk to Richmond.
Yeah, he's like, we can't do any...
Yeah, I can't. This is not appropriate.
He's, like, he's just doing the Jonah Hill gift.
Yeah. Go out there, man. Shit. Eventually, Juan finishes and he exits to the crowded doorway. Everybody dramatically pumps him for information rather than letting him speak. Music fades and Han apologizes. I'm sorry. I was not strong enough. Everybody then erupts in exclamation points. Nobody can believe this shit. Especially Flick, who says, what? But how could you fail? And again, is this... Well, we'll get to it later. Victor keeps his boy in check. Says, quit it, Flick. He did all he could. Don't take your anger out on him. Flick shits himself, worrying about Rio, then laments the loss of Kiba and Nanami. Quote, they fought along with us, and even though we won, even though we've come so far. More people mope, but then Juan asked to speak privately with Lord Shu. And my question now is, Chris, did I fuck up, or is this a Gremio situation? Would he ask to speak to Lord Shu depending if stuff didn't go?
I think that's the one thing that's added if you did everything correctly.
If you did it successfully, yes. Is he asked to speak with Lord Shu?
Yes. And we'll find out what happened later.
Something is fucked up about Shu and Juan speaking privately. Like, you have to know something's amiss. And my question with you, if you go check the tablet now, is Nanami crossed off?
I'm not sure.
Damn.
I'm not sure. I think she is, but I'm not sure.
Bustling town plays and I wake up in bed.
Yep. First thing I do the next morning is show Jude the dragon plans. He builds the garden deity and calls over everyone. We have a cool dragon statue now. Everyone likes it except Luke, who calls it an eyesore. I get dragon incense. The end.
I hit up Eiley for some sex. She says, I thought you'd be here. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can say, nothing I can do to help you.
Mm-hmm. So this is interesting. A lot of characters in the castle now will have some very specific dialogue, some condolences.
Some sorrow.
A lot of them will just say, Lord Rio. I've written down some specific ones. Would you like to hear them?
Yes. Tell me about it.
Juan says he's sorry. Tuda says that Juan gave it everything he could. Max says don't let it get you down. Gilbert says death is part of life.
Thank you, Gilbert.
Yeah. Wakaba says not to let it get me down. LC Chan asked me if I want to take a bath.
Hell yeah.
Anita just got dots. Valeria tells me not to cry. It's not how the leader should behave. Ida says that her spirit will return to the Great Forest. That's where we're all going. Amelia says it might be a good time to lose myself in a good book.
And the music.
What?
Lose yourself. Never mind.
Oh, sure. Gengen tells me not to be sad and starts yelling happy at me, which I don't think is working. Sheena is just talking about how...
Gave up. Happy.
Sheena starts talking about how hot Teresa is. Then he apologizes and said that he thought he could take my mind off Nanami.
Shin would literally kill Sheena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
Straight up. Head removed.
Yeah. Bogan's real sad. Rena says if you want to cry, then cry, but you can't stay sad forever. Kinnison, I like what Kinnison says. He says, life's a long song, and the tuning's too soon for us all. Stallion's running in the graveyard. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if he runs in the graveyard after Nanami dies.
That's pretty funny.
Ulan says that if she'd been there. Chaco says a big yawn will help me. Camus says, Lady Nanami, she was a great lady. Georg says, life is full of tragedies. You can't run away from them. You just have to survive them and move on.
Georg's always real.
He is real. And I think I got just about every one of these things that was worth writing down. But I did notice that once you leave the castle and come back, everything's back to normal.
Oh, okay. So there's just one opportunity for sorrow, then it's back to business. We got a war to win.
Okay, Eric, let's go to the real net.
Initializing real net.
What the fuck was that? Crisp.
Andy Hoof said, can we get fan art of Chris gazing lovingly at buff Eric? Yes, sure.
Sure, yeah. Anybody wants to do that? I don't know if lovingly is the word, more like appreciatingly.
Dragon Zord wonders if there's Eric and Bigger Eric.
Like Bigger Luke?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Bigger Luke is one of those things where it's like, the internet's too big.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Squeak says all castles need cats.
In Yakuza, like a Dragon Ishin, you can befriend cats and recruit them back to your homestead.
Like Mukamukus?
Kind of, but there's kind of a weird, like you buy a house for, never mind, it's not even worth.
Okay.
It's a fucked dynamic. How about that?
John Doe says LMAO, Sierra fucks confirmed.
I thought, yeah, you're right. Because, well, I read that as not as has fucked, but is not human.
Yeah, true. Jedi Mimic says that this is why Leon had to be pulled off so he wouldn't see through the bluff flanking. Leon would have seen the Barbara Leona reinforcement thing.
Good point.
Very good point. Andy Hoof says the amount of Transformers knowledge needed to fully enjoy this podcast is sometimes disheartening. Well,
it's been on the brain for the past 3 or 4 months for me.
John Doe says watch the first Transformers animated movie and you will get 90% of the references.
Yeah, it's enough. Sorry.
John Doe says Uber is a big monster guy. It's true. Eric Vanon says Nanami represents the other side of a coin about responsibility. You can run away from it at any time and try to pursue a world where you didn't have them. Rio represents the other side, either knowing that once you have responsibility, you're ethically obliged to act or just can't see another option.
Yeah.
That's a good read.
That's a good point. There's, consequences.
Squeak says, who did it better, Joey or Delita? That's a Final Fantasy Tactics reference. Eric Vanon says Delita was way more diluted. I actually don't remember that well enough to comment.
Maybe one day.
Maybe. Dragon Zord says Cloud, is baby, Sephiroth, fucking one-shots a dragon. That's a really good example of when you get to have like a character in your party for one time, just like to demonstrate the power of Sephiroth.
With the calm flashback. Yeah. I used to have a save file at that sequence so I could replay it and have Sephiroth on my team.
Jedi Mimic says Jowie now, and at several points of the story, has let his humanity and mercy sacrifice a chance to win. He refuses to become the tyrant to achieve his goals, and that's Luca Blight's subtler role in the plot. He is the foil for what Jowie could become, but knows not to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Very good.
Even amongst forces of antagonism, there are multiple paths to the same place.
Squeak says, when Suikoden 2 goes hard, it goes fucking hard. Yeah, it does.
I really do think that, we've said as much, but the new release has the potential to blow people away if capital letter IF.
Yeah, big if it's handled well.
The first game could also benefit from a better Loke, but not as much as the second game.
Eric Vanon says, too bad Tyr isn't here to offer his thoughts.
His dots.
Quote, good thing your loved one didn't die when you had the Soul Eater, because it would have eaten her soul. Yep, that happened to me twice. John Doe leads us into the next episode. It says, next time on Retro Bathnesia, we're going to take a bath.
Love taking baths.
Have you seen the bath scenes?
No.
Oh, so just You just need to let me just describe them.
Yeah. Well, I upgraded it once and took one more bat, but there was nothing special about it.
Oh, there's some shit, dude.
Some stuff.
There's some stuff. So please look forward to it. Please understand. This episode has been a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on April 13th, 2023. You can find us on Twitter at RetroAmnesiaPod, if Twitter still exists. Email the podcast to podcast@retrogradeamnesia.com, and you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam. You can go there and get early access, 2 weeks, bonus episodes, miniseries, and access to the real net.
Find out what both sides case means in our Star Ocean episodes.
Yeah, we're sorry that we make references to our other podcasts, but in order to get the full experience, you must listen to every single fucking piece of content we've ever produced. Or not. It's fine. Thanks, Mark.
Shepard.
You're welcome, Chris.
Until next time.
Yes, we will.
Take a bath.
There's like another bath reference, except go back to bath.
Yes, we'll go back to bath?
Yeah.
And now you may go back to bath?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Bye. Hey, Eric. Are you ready to start?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Both of my parents called and texted, which is usually protocol for a relative is dead.
Yeah.
They don't know my Netflix password.
Well, they got to watch what's on Netflix. What's on Netflix right now?
I've paid for it. I don't watch it.
I only use Crunchyroll, Eric, because I only have time for anime.
That's where true stories are told, Chris.
That's true. I am using Disney Plus as well because I'm watching the Star Wars stuff.
I signed up for Showtime for a month.
Actually, I'm not paying for Disney Plus. I'm using my dad's, and I'm not paying for HBO either. I'm using my dad's.
There you go.
But he uses my YouTube TV, so we're even, I guess. Probably not. YouTube TV is expensive now.
Explanations.
Time.
But
I gotta talk about Xenogears again.
I was born a small child. Let's do it.
The Eagles have a great rushing offense, much like Weltall in the gear in Xenogears, phase gear.
Man.
Whereas the Kansas City rush defense is kind of like Ramses. He's always being defeated by Faye. And I think the Eagles will run the ball down Kansas City's throats and win the game by 10, 12 points.
So in order to get close my eyes and forgot where I was in my notes. Let's see here.
Michigan Deers and the who do the Michigan people hate? Ohio people? There's not a
Wisconsin, Canada. I don't know about regional beef in Michigan.
I thought
Buffalo.
I used to be friends with a guy from Michigan, and he always said that there was beef between Michigan and Ohio, but I don't know why.
Just kind of Rust Belt animosity.
Football?
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't want to even ask the fake now because I don't care. Where was I?
Amazing. A booby trap that actually catches boobies.
So will you read what Ridley said again?